what is the difference between a will and a living trust? Like, why do people always get confused about the two? Like, what's the difference?
So they're very different. They both are in a living trust. You're choosing a trustee. Generally, it's you and your spouse. I want to make really clear that what's called a living trust is a revocable trust or revocable trust. You'll hear it both ways. Both mean the same thing. And it means you can change it or amend it or revoke it at any time. And that's a key point. So there's no asset protection. If you're creditor liability, there's no creditor protection with a living trust, a general living trust.
Can you say that again? Can you say that one more? Can you say that one more time?
Yes, there is no third-party liability protection, creditor protection, or asset protection with a revocable living trust, with your general living trust. When you're the trustee, you are owning property as the trustee. It is a tax neutral trust, meaning you're not filing a separate tax return. It is you. I'll get in a bit the difference between ownership when it comes to the IRS versus a court of law, but for this one, for both, it's you. So there is no liability protection. The reason why you want to have a living trust, why you need a living trust, regardless of whether you're doing asset protection or not, is because one, the probate avoidance, which we've spoken about a bit. Two, you want to choose who's in control of managing your assets while you still have the mental capability to do so. Before you're older, before you're vulnerable, before you start losing capacity, or before you're in an accident. So you're choosing 2 to 3 people in succession after you to be in that position of authority. You're also choosing where you want your assets to go. Sometimes we have children that maybe didn't turn out as responsibly as we wanted. Maybe we worked really hard because we had to. Sometimes if you're a very successful parent and you're raising children in today's world, the responsibility part is sometimes harder to instill in children. And so maybe you want them to work, to build themselves and work themselves. So sometimes people say, okay, you get this distribution when you graduate college or you're 25, this much at 30. Maybe you have a child or a family member that has a substance abuse issue. And this is a way that you can control or like kind of siphon what they receive. Sometimes our children don't make the best marriage decisions. And this is another way that you can protect them. There's a lot of reasons why you can craft a trust personally for your circumstance. A will is also choosing somebody to be the executor, but this is the executor who's going to be appointed by the court. A will also says where you want your assets to go, but this is after it goes through a full probate. So when you have a living trust, you will still have a will, but it will be called a pour over will. This is a pour over will because it pours those assets that don't have a deed or a title into your trust so that they are distributed per the terms of your trust. Those are the main differences.
So if you enjoyed this clip and you want to see the entire episode, click here. And if you want to see other videos similar to this, click here.